world scene in 1942. Yeah, I was found myself over in England. My father met my mother over there when he was in the war. And basically, he was doing a little boxing over there. He was the champion. He fought with Joe Louis back in 1944. And he became the champion over there in England in the army. He was a military police. He's a big fellow. He was 6'2", 250 pounds. So he was quite big. And as I was a baby at the time, me and my sister Rita were born over there. I was born in Bolton, Lancashire, England, and she was born in Surrey, England. I was born in the north, she was born in the south. And then I came over when I was 2.5 over here in Canada by boat. And this is the time when my father got killed by the police over here in Quebec back in 1948. So that would leave me around 5 years old. So I never really got to know my father much. I remember vaguely when we used to take train trips, but that was just basically, you know. He bought me a dog when I was over in Nova Scotia. Bought me a little dog. Those things that I remember. The children were placed in foster homes. My mother went into hospital for about 8 years with the depression. So that means that I was put into the boys' home when I was about 11 and got out when I was 14. But while I was in the home, I picked up a little bit of harmonica playing and guitar. And guitar was tuned Hawaiian, just something like Jimmy Rogers used to play. If you've seen him on the Ed Sullivan Show, he was doing when the Lord made the bees and the bees made the honey bee looking for a honeycomb. And you see his hands were basically a one finger thing. Open string, then he press down, then go ding, ding, and that's the way I was starting to play the guitar. Kind of funny how the Lord made the bees and the honey, and the honeybee looking for a home, and he called it a honeycomb. I started to go to the Ville Lemoyne School over in Long Gale, and that's where I met my friend Bucky. His name is Bucky Salini. And we went to a school dance one time, and they had a group there playing a little bit of Bo Diddley music. And so we got together after and said, well, maybe we can get a little thing going, you know. He said, can you play something? I said, well, you know, I play guitar when I was in the boys' home. I don't know if I can do anything. Yeah, he said, well, come over to my place, you know. We can maybe get something together, you know. He says, I played a little drums. I used to play some fellow, his name was Golden. Michael Golden, he is a Jewish fellow in the home, and he used to play drums. He's a drummer today, but he showed me a few things on how to keep the rhythm with some sticks. So I transferred that over to my friend Bucky, and he started to get interested and started playing the bongos. And after that, he got a snare drum and a set of hi-hats, and we just practiced over there. I picked up an old guitar that my cousin gave me, an old Stella guitar, and I was playing just like Jimmy Rogers. Ding, 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 ding. Very simple stuff. And so this is how our little group started. Ain't it hard to be with a woman? Bucky, he went with another group called the Rhythm Lords, and I was basically just in limbo. I didn't know what I was doing at that particular time. And so then, when he was with the Rhythm Lords, he asked me if I wanted to come and see them. So I went to go see them. And the twist was out at the time, and I figured, well, you know, maybe I could sing the twist while with the guys. So I went and sang the twist with them. And from then on in, the guitar player wanted me to come around with him and just highlight. So many different things that you do when you start to come into play music, because you're going here and there. I played basically all the circuits in Quebec City, Jonquière, Ormstown, Bahornwall, you know, you name it, all over the place. Eastern Townships. And then we ended up at the Esquire Show Bar with the Harrison and Tab Adventure. The Esquire Show Bar was a hopping place there where you hear all kinds of groups coming in from the States. And in order to play there, you had to know what you were doing. And so I just managed to just get a job in there. That was nice, you know. Ray Charles, what did I say, you see? And Ray Charles influenced me a lot in playing because I used to like to play a lot of his songs.
I don't play the drums, I don't disco dance, I don't play the blues, you in a train.
So here I am today with my son playing for his watching of his discs and his CDs. He really got musically inclined. He liked boxing just like my father. I like boxing because I started boxing when I was 19. Before I met my wife, because my wife, she didn't like anybody getting hit in the ring. She would have probably get up there and hit the guy. She would have probably got by the ring and pulled the guy by the hair or something. So it was a good thing I wasn't really into that. When I met her, I basically was almost finished boxing there. I went into the Golden Gloves in '65 and went to the semifinals. And my buddy Vincent, he went to the semifinals, but we lost there.
Oh, yeah.
You win some and you lose. It's time for me to get a family going here. I guess I met my wife in '62, and we played. I met her in Montreal, and we were in. I had a job out in Ormstown. Me, Tiger, Walter, and Ray. And I met my wife coming down the stairs because we're going on this job out in Ormstown, and then and the rest is history. Because I got 6 kids after that. We got married and got 6 kids. Sometimes music can get you into different problems, especially when you're getting married and you're having children. And so I was basically always on the road. And my wife was there bringing up these 6 kids. And as my life started to simmer down after '69, '70, in the '70s, I basically stayed home and knew that my responsibility for my family came first. So I said, I got to bring up these boys, and they were boys, all right. They drove everybody up the wall, but that's boys for you. Here I am today, 64 years old. In May. Today's April. My wife always says, "But you're not 64. You're only 63. What's the difference? I'm 64. I'm 64. You know, yeah. 1 year less, 1 year more. Who cares? We're still going." But I enjoyed my life as a musician.
Q, I love you, Suzanne Q. I like the way you walk. I like the way you talk. I like the way you walk, I like the way you talk. Music you. He ain't running no butcher shop, baby, but it takes in a whole lot of me.